Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
So now we're going to do the review of Kingdomino Origins, which is the third game in this series, starting with Kingdomino and then Queendomino right there. Check out our how to play and playthrough video of this, and you can also see our how to play, playthrough, and review of the original game. Soon we'll do
Queendomino?
videos on Queendomino.
Okay.
So let's take a look at what you're doing here. What makes this a little different? Well, first off, there are 3 modes. So when you get the rule book, you can play the discovery mode, which you'll play with volcanoes. And what volcanoes do, it allows you to place fires to add multipliers. So now you'll see this also includes the other modes too. We played the third mode in how to play and play through. But when you add fires, that makes this desert region worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 times 4, 24 points. So Kingdomino is you're placing tiles like in dominoes, and you want regions to be connected that are alike and have fires in them to be multipliers. So this region here is worth 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2, 8 points. So that's that mode. Now you see here we have resources and cavemen. The second mode is Totem Mode, where you're placing the resources down, and every resource that you get is worth 1 point. But if you have the majority of resources, for instance, if I have the majority of flint, I'll have 4 extra points at the end of the game. So that's where you add in these resources. So grasslands generate mammoths, and fish in lakes, mushrooms in jungle, and flint in quarries. I call them rocks, but whatever. Now, the mode that we played on camera is the tribe mode, where you place cavemen. You can recruit them. So you'll have a board like this, and when you get tiles with resources, you can spin them. There'd always be 4 face up here. You can spin your resources, either 2 different kinds, or you can spend all 4 that are available if you have them to search the stack to get what you want. But if you don't, you can spend 2 different ones to get a different cave person. So you'll see here, I got a fisherman, and every fish that's next to the fisherman, whether diagonally or orthogonally, is worth 3 points. So this was worth 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3, 12 points. The hunter, his points being next to mammoths, and I had 2 hunters. If you have warriors, you get the number of points shown on the warrior times the number of warriors. So this is 4 points of warriors times 2 warriors, that's 8 points. The fire, did they call it, I think, a fire lady?
I think so.
What did they call that?
Or maybe that's what you just called her.
No, the fire lady.
Okay,
it's called the fire lady.
All right.
It's worth points for the number of fires that are next to them. And then there's other ones like a gatherer of the shaman is next to other tribes persons. The sculptor next to flint, that's what you had. Mm-hmm. The gatherer of the mushrooms. That's pretty much it.
The fishing child.
Oh, the fishing child. I did not know that.
I did not either. It just caught my eye.
And the painter is next to any resource, but it's only worth 2 points next to every resource. So, just like the original Kingdomino, where you're going to have 4 tiles. We did a 2-player version, so for us, we have 2 chiefs. So if I show that real quick, you would have a situation like this where you get to place 2 down, and Julie would do those, and you'd have another 4 here. Again, we finished the game. There would be another 4 here. So when you place it, you place your other chief on the next 4 that would be here. And it's in a 3 or 4 player game, you only play with 1 of each. And
that's right.
And that's
pretty
much it. You're trying to score the most points.
Yeah.
Laying down tiles, which are like dominoes.
Yeah.
And you have different modes. The simplest mode is just placing volcanoes and placing fire multipliers. The other mode is, again, you're getting resources and trying to get the most of a kind. And then the last mode, which is what we played, you get to add cave persons to your regions.
Cave people.
Cave people. All right, so that's a quick overview. If you want to see who won the game, and go through all the steps in more detail. Check out the how to play and playthrough. All right, so let's take a look at how we reviewed it. Julie's going to give her reasons first.
Yep, and then David will give his. And then we'll tell you how we rated it on the BGG scale.
Right, so here we go.
Okay, so I thought the wood pieces are really fun. You know, they're shaped like little fish and little mammoth and shrooms. I mean, it's very cute. I think the art on the pieces is very nice. The volcanoes add, you know, a nice little thing to it. I think it's they're cool. I think it's a fun little new way to make it a different game with the original game. It can be a bit overwhelming though with all the new choices. Like David said, there's 3 different modes, and the more you do like 2 or 3, it can be a little overwhelming of like, okay, am I going to go for this? Am I going to go for that? And you'll get to see if you watch the playthrough and how to play that at one point, I'm just kind of like, I don't care anymore to even look at the tribes people because it's just too much. It's too overwhelming for someone like me with a cognitive disability. And also with my disability, making the grid is extremely frustrating. And you might be able to see that on my face when you watch the playthrough and how to play. And don't take it that I wasn't having fun. I am having fun. It's just frustrating trying to figure out how to get everything to work because I have a hard time like jumping ahead a few spots
That's
to
a
figure
good
out
point,
how to do it.
Because when you are getting tiles and you're going to place your person on the next tile, you have to think so far ahead.
And it can be really challenging for someone like me with a disability.
Look, I didn't place 2 tiles either.
But that's very rare for him, you guys. It's very rare.
But in a 2-player game, you're going to 7 by 7. So not only do you got to think about, this is normal Kingdomino. You got to think ahead, you know.
Right.
I'm going to place a tile, and now which tile am I going to try to get next turn? But now you got to worry about, okay, if I place a volcano, am I going to, if I place a fire, I can only place it on a region where there's no other fires. I don't want to destroy my own cave people with a fire or destroy resources with it. You want to spin those resources first. And then you got to think about the cave people when you put them down, you know, the ideal situation. So, to your point, it's more frustrating for Julie than the original one because there's more steps to take.
There's way more steps.
So it adds more complexity. You know, some people might like that.
That's true. That's why I made it a neutral, because some people might really like that part of it. But for someone like me or anybody else that might have any type of cognitive disability, it's just really frustrating.
Or they're just not that great with
abstract
exactly.
And you don't even have to have a disability. You're just not good with that. And this isn't just this Origins game. All the Kingdomino series, that's my main thing I struggle with, is trying to get everything to work out perfectly. And I always come up with spots that aren't filled. And that's okay. I know that's how it's going to be for me. It just sometimes just can be a little disappointing and frustrating. That's all.
But here's the thing. It's people who are not, abstract tile line games are into strength, or a young person who's not used to doing this, or even an adult that's not used to this type of game can feel the same way.
Our son's girlfriend is not good with this stuff either, and she's got a very smart brain, so it's just that's not her strength.
But look, you still enjoy playing it.
Oh, I do.
It's just a situation where it's going to be it's going to be frustrating because you are having to work harder. It doesn't come easy to you.
No, and thank goodness David's very patient. He does all my scoring for me, because that's another thing that's very hard for me as well, is the scoring. It's just very confusing. So thank you, honey, for doing that for me.
I also help out a little bit here and there too.
You help out a lot, which I appreciate.
Okay, so the plus for me is 3-player modes. This has more options. The volcanoes adding fire multipliers is great, because I think that is really cool, that I can improve a region by getting volcanoes on purpose. And I mean, for instance, I was able to add 3 points of fires here and made this desert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4, 24 points. Otherwise, this would have been just worth 6 points.
Yeah, that was great for you.
So, and I made the quarries worth a lot too by adding a 1 here. So that's a cool option. And you can just play that mode, not even play with anything else. It adds some detail.
Oh, definitely.
But again, we played the hardest mode because we wanted to show people all the options. You know, I should say the mode with the most utmost detail. So cool wood pieces and art. So compared to the other Kingdomino games, I like this art the best.
I do too.
Queendomino, when we review that will not be a positive for me. I dislike the art in Queendomino. The colors are just awful.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Well, it's okay. We played it recently, but when you see it again, you'll be like, oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about. So it's very aesthetically pleasing. I really like the fact that the wood pieces have little stamps on them.
And they look like what they're supposed to be, which is fun.
It's a nice little detail there. Unfortunately, though, the rule book's annoying. And that's because it doesn't provide enough examples. Now, I was able to get through it, okay, because I'm an experienced gamer. I can't see someone who's not played Kingdomino before. They're going to struggle with this because it doesn't. When you get the contents here, it doesn't tell you what you should play with on the discovery mode and what you should leave out. So when you're opening it up, you're like, oh, what do I do with these pieces? What do I do?
Right.
I know that's what people are going to do.
Yeah.
And then because it doesn't include enough examples, some people might be lost.
Sure.
And because it mentions stuff later on that you needed to know earlier, like how to play the two-player game is mentioned at the very end.
Oh, that's right.
It should really come earlier. So the rule book it's going to be a challenge for people who have not played Kingdomino before and for someone who's not used to reading rules.
Yeah.
In fact, I can see some people, they're going to have to go to videos, which is why we make them.
Yep.
So disappointing die cut of cardboard pieces. So there's quality control issues. So this is what you need to do when you get the game. I have glue sticks.
Thank goodness.
Being a teacher, I have glue sticks. And every time, occasionally, we get games where the die cutting isn't good, and then when you punch it out, you have to repair it. So too many pieces in this game I had to repair. And the tiles come pre-punched. So either the manufacturer they went to did a poor job, or the die cut that was used was not well manufactured, or it was getting dull on this particular production run and made mistakes. Now I pointed this out before in a different game. It was Sorrow, the Phoenix edition, where I said this is really bad, where I pointed out that the die cutting was so bad that it affected other people too, and they actually had to do another production run.
Wow, really?
And they said anybody who got those sent a picture, which I said, well, here's the video.
Right.
And they sent new tiles to us. So that was the manufacturer that they went to. Now it makes me wonder how many other people's pieces have quality control issues. Now it's not so bad that I want to contact them and say, here, replace it.
No.
But there was enough of pieces with issues, at least 2 or 3. And if you look at some of the backs of them, it's like, they're a little kind of chewed up a little bit. Not to the point that if you have to look carefully to see it. It makes me wonder if there's a quality control issue in other people's games.
Could be.
So let's check yours.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just our copy, but
Hopefully.
It does make me wonder.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was just a negative, because the other games that we've gotten from them did not have that issue.
Right.
So like, again, either the die cut's dull, or they went to a new manufacturer who just doesn't do good quality control. All right, so let's see how we rated it.
Okay.
So I enjoy playing this one and would suggest this. In fact, I like this better than the original. This is probably my favorite one. Now we got to do our video on Queendomino, and you'll get my review on that, and I'll give my ultimate judgment.
My review will probably be about the same.
Yours is a 6.5.
Yeah.
Because you probably play the original Kingdomino if you just want to play something quick, right?
True.
So
I would play this one if David really wanted to play it. I would play with him because I don't want him to not want, have anyone to play with. But I would never suggest, hey, let's play this game. It's just these King and Queen and original Domino, they're just real frustrating for me. But if it's something that he really wants to play and he wants to play this one, I would play it. I would have fun. I'd probably have a glass of wine to get through it. And I did not drink during the playthrough. I had water, I swear to you. But yeah, it's just not my thing.
There's other abstract games that you'll play over this, such as
Azul.
Azul. What's the War of the Roses one?
Oh, you mean Rose King?
Rose King, you'd play.
I will do that.
There's other
one.
games that Julie would rather play than this. So I'd have to be careful how if I do select this, Julie has to be. I'll consider which Kingdomino do you want to
And
play.
I can't be tired.
Right.
There's just no way. If he wants to play it and I'm like, no, I really want to go to bed, it would be no fun for either one of us. So.
Right. So I think this is probably my favorite one. We could play the other modes where it's not so thinky. For instance, we could play the mode where it's just the volcanoes, which you might like better.
I might like that better.
Better than the other Kingdomino. So that's something we would have to try.
I can try that. It's just with the one we played tonight, it's just a lot. It really is. It's just a lot going on. But if you're into that, I say you go for it and you have fun. Right.
So if you've never played Kingdomino before and you're not a gamer, I don't know.
Don't start with this one.
I don't know if you should, unless you have someone teach it to you or if you can read the rule book.
Or if you could play someone else's copy first before you do it, then then you decide.
I would play someone else's copy first if you haven't played any Kingdomino.
True.
But if you have Kingdomino, I do recommend this one highly if you are a
Over
fan of
Queen
the game.
Domino?
Yeah, because Kingdomino, well, you'll see us when we do those videos. I have opinions about that. This one I like the best.
Well, we really appreciate you watching and taking the time out of your day to spend a little time with us.
All right. Well, thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.